Hey, everybody, this is Patti. Welcome to the witching hour. That's right, the hour of the day when the veil is thin and magic happens. We have some kind of spooky magic for us today. Some two new amazing new friends of mine that I just met across the pond at the UK at their amazing haunted museum. Let me bring on Craig and Gemma of the Haunted Museum in Stoke-on-Trent. Welcome, you guys.
Hello. Nice to
Hello.
see you.
This is awesome. I so fell in love with working with you. We did a paranormal investigation somewhere, and we did a thing at your museum, a couple things, and I just fell in love with you guys. So, for people who don't know, tell a little bit about who you guys, where you came from, how did a museum happen, your paranormal experience?
I've been a paranormal investigator for almost 30 years this year. Been actively working on case files for just over 20 years now as well. Along the journey of collecting these artifacts, working on these case files, storing, sharing artifacts away with the collection over the years. The museum was an idea many, many years ago with what we're going to do with these artifacts, these relics, what's the overall intent, how to use them to display them. And the idea of the museum came along probably about 15 years ago. And then it was put to rest a little bit. And then when we hit lockdown, we sort of went on social media, sort of as a way to communicate with people, and we built a network with people to help them get through lockdown, talking about the paranormal, the cases that we worked on, the collection we have, and showing them some of these artifacts. And then we got talking about the idea of the museum, and our supporters kind of backed us and said, go for it. Open this museum. It sounds incredible with just a few of the bits that we were able to show. And we went from there, didn't we? And then we came out of lockdown and we looked for a building, and we secured the buildings that we're at now. And yeah, it all just blossomed from there. And it's just been an amazing. We've been open for 3 years this year now. And we have visitors from all over the world come and investigate here, or to do with tours at the museum. And it's just been incredible for us, hasn't it, Jen?
Yeah, it has. I think been far bigger than we ever could have imagined, and it's just been amazing. And we absolutely adore the place.
Yeah.
We do. And, it's fabulous.
It's like a baby to us. Like,
Yeah.
obviously we spend every day, every evening looking at, even when we haven't got guests in, working with the artifacts ourselves, or, doing generic investigations, trialing new experiments and ways that we can generate and gain activity while working within the paranormal. And that's an area that we do kind of specialize as well. Obviously, with yourself, you trialed one of our experiments here, when we've got the devil pit, which is a sensory deprivation experience. And,
You loved it.
yeah, it was incredible. It was incredible for somebody like yourself to be
Yeah.
in a harm museum anyway, and then to just jump in and say, yeah, I'm going to do this experience. Stupid things.
So what that basically is they put me in a coffin and then put me in a case and just put a coffin in complete deprivation, one that went in through flashing lights and pitch darkness, and then just locked me away in a coffin. It was like the best.
Yeah, and it's a case of trying to hit all senses. Obviously, with you're in a tomb, in a coffin, you've got the white noise going, the darkness, the strobe lighting effect. So a mixture of everything combined into one. And people who have done this experiment have had some insane results, and a lot of people coming out of there having the same experience as
They're
well.
very similar.
Um,
Which you did yourself, Patti.
Yes, of the creature that was at the bottom by my feet trying to get in, or whatever that was, spirit that was there. And I didn't know that other people had done. It's like, what is that?
Yeah. And that's one of the things everybody who's done this experiment have mentioned, the same feelings, the same
Kind of in
feelings.
that same area.
Yeah.
So again, is unique in itself that so many people are experiencing the same type of thing. So yeah, excellent.
It was wild. And that's what was, again, your building is amazing because it is an old historic building that is very haunted, and every section has its own world and feel to it. And you can dress them appropriately for what they are, I think, and curated well as far as a museum. Um, so it's a great museum with great stuff in a great building. But what you guys did that's different, I've been to a lot of haunted museums all over the world, but yours is so experiential that, again, you lock you away in a coffin, you live a morgue table, you literally have a dowsing rod table, this copper table with a dowsing rod. I mean, stuff I've never seen. You guys are like these experiential.
And that's what we're trying to do. We try to be different. So I love to work with very old-fashioned methods of divination and working with energy, and trying to think outside of the box of how we can get interaction with spirit by using some of the old school methods and working naturally with energy, fire scrying, water scrying, dowsing rods, spirit boards, channeling energies, and I think we've been introducing that more here at the museum with people. As much as we love the equipment side of things and how things are advancing, which is, great. But I'm very old fashioned, and we've been introducing that more to the people who've been visiting the museum,
Yeah.
and they love it. They absolutely love these old fashioned methods of and we try to explain, these flashing gadgets are great, but you will never for us beat the old school stuff, working candle magic and things like that.
Your own senses, that's
you-
that bit of equipment.
Yeah.
And obviously we're trying to get that, and get people to embrace that, and people are loving it. It makes a change from just waiting for a piece of equipment to go off.
Yeah.
Because you're knowing what you're saying.
Yeah, watching flashing lights is one thing and it's really cool and whatever, but we did table scrying. We were at that table. We had all this around and you just had the fire going and it was amazing. And then we talked about what we experienced. And those were regular public people coming in
Yeah.
to get to really experience something instead of just watch something was
Right. And that's what we try to do with
Yeah.
the theming at the museum. We, like with the areas that we've got, like we have an asylum room. So in the asylum room, we have a padded cell. So again, we use it for sensory deprivation, but we go the whole hog. So you'll put in a straitjacket and obviously,
If you wish, obviously,
wish.
don't make
and then we've got sensory deprivation chair in there. Like, so we've got morgue area, coffins that you can lay up inside of. And yeah, it kind of blends and works all the way through. So we have the basic layout of the artifacts of what balances with each other, working with the energy from those artifacts. So that's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you put with what? Where do you put what artifact with another? Because obviously we need to make sure that there's, a slight amount of harmony around it, because sometimes energies don't like each other.
two haunted dolls. They do or don't get along.
Yeah.
and we don't believe in encasing a lot of artifacts as well, because we like energy to breathe, to release, to move around, giving that freedom at the end of the day. Even a lot of the darker things that we have from some of the case files, and I think, we do it the right way with respect. You get that respect back at the same time. There's always a playful spirit or a negative energy that likes to be, more aggressive. But then again, with experience, it can't be controlled on how you work with these energies at the end
How
of the
you
day.
deal with it.
It's how you deal with it and how you address it properly, I think. And it works very well, the way the system that we do it, and, the balance that we've got, we seem to have pretty right at the moment. So a lot of thought process goes on to how we do things.
A lot of thought and a lot of love. That is most important. We put our whole selves into this, and I think the energies needed, reciprocate that with us as well for the most part.
Yeah, they do. So what do you think? Do you have a favorite or a most haunted item? Again, you have so much stuff. Is there one most
Your favorite child play.
I mean, we have some historic pieces here as well. We have a lot of uh, amazing artifacts there. We've got the original front door from Teachings Drive, which is still to date the most violent documented poltergeist case in Europe. We've got personal belongings of Ed and Lorraine Warrens, which for us is the gold dust of the paranormal industry. We are huge fans of the Warren Society, and
I
the
feel
work
very,
they've
very
done.
blessed and very, very
Yeah.
honoured to actually be able to have those here. I've just got chill. Because, especially to have something like that in the UK, from these amazing, renowned paranormal investigators. But for us, it's so humbling and we're so appreciative that we've actually got them.
I think for me, if I had to pinpoint an artifact
So,
that I like to work with, we have a very dark and spirit doll here, an Abaddon doll. We have this bit of a love-hate relationship with the energy from the doll.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, I love the energy that she does produce from it at the same time, because it can be very playful. And we have even members of the public come in and they're doing things like yesterday's experiments, and things come out about me even when I'm not in the building. And so for me, it's kind of like, yeah, that's the kind of thing that I like to do. I mean, we worked with the items that we Ed and Lorraine Warrens have on numerous occasions. And we have trigger items that we had made exact replicas of some of the things that they would have had in their music.
Think they would recognise.
Yeah. And we've had some amazing results with them, absolutely mind-blowing, very personal things that, we've spoke to people, who would have known Ed and Lorraine and Judy, and they confirmed a lot of the things that we've had from that as well. Things that are all public knowledge, information that we wouldn't have been able to get a hold of.
But it was
Traced back in.
amazing, like truly amazing. I finished the night in tears, I'm not going to lie, because it was just so overwhelming. So yeah, some amazing stuff, but I couldn't pick just one because
There's been many references. I love the case files we've worked on, and for many years ago as well. You never really forget any of these cases. We constantly keep in touch with the people that we work with on these case files, and we have a very strict privacy policy with what we do when we're working on a private case file. We don't publicly produce information, and I think that's important for us as investigators, because not everybody wants these things published online or on social media. If something is happening in their home or to their family, the last thing we want it to be done is aired all over social media. So when we talk about our artifacts, if we're on a tour or if people are getting activity or information from them, we kind of like, we confirm if they're right in the direction they're going. We give them little bits of information that aren't traditional, if you can understand that, without giving too much away. Because we do have people who ask, whereabouts exactly was this from? Who was the people involved in the case? And
we won't get that
but we don't give that information. That's the privacy policy that we work with. That's why people still constantly come back to us after all these years, because we don't air their dirty laundry, so to speak. And with this industry, some people take me with crackers, and or they don't have the same beliefs as what we have, and it's not entirely up to them at the end of the day. So it's a great industry. We just love and enjoy what we're doing, and I think that makes the difference. Like Jen said, of the passion that we have, the drive that we have for the work that we're doing, and people travel from all over the world to us, and that's mind blowing for us in its own right. And they go away, and then I had somebody like yourself who came over, and because obviously you've been to all the big museums across the world and things, and we were like, it's
oh my God, that is coming.
we were already, we were quite nervous of how you found our new museum and what you thought about it and the layout and how we're doing things here, and you're Patti
And making funny faces right now, it's because my evil cat is chewing on me, and I kind of he's
rushed to prevent.
and
And then obviously we followed you for years along your journey, watched your shows, and what you do, and when you said to us like you love the museum, for us that was just like
mind blowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Friend.
I love the museum, but I wouldn't say that if I didn't. I don't. Nobody's going to get to say anything because it is so different. You have more places to do a séance in that one museum than I've ever seen at the main sale.
Yeah.
What's that table? Now we have fire. Now we
And,
It's
and that's what we're trying to offer with our investigations is everything across the board from very traditional methods to, the latest technology side. I mean, seance room is a stunning room. Everybody who comes in loves that room and is very drawn to it. There's a lot of energy in there and, it's one of our favorite.
it is one of our favorite
Yeah.
rooms. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. In rooms, we can pick which ones are our favorite. But it's not favorite.
Not the smoldering itself, just the room.
Yeah.
And how you have the Ed and Lorraine War set. I mean, literally in less than 24 hours of us taping this, and after with this actually airs next week, I'm going to be at the Ed and Lorraine Warren Paracon in 24 hours from now. So I'm so
Wow.
excited. Never been there. So I mean, that is great, and you guys have done it really well.
Here.
Gee.
Wrong.
Have you noticed? Because I certainly have. Because you do investigations, you go help people. That is what you do, not just the museum. You of recent paranormal activity is really increasing.
yeah, it's more like, I think it's becoming more popular now, isn't it?
Yes, I do. I think it's a lot more advertised. It's a lot more acceptable now, than maybe it has been previously. There's a lot more shows out there, which is great. But on another side, I think, some people may just want that for 5 minutes of fame, which, isn't great because there are people out there who are having these genuine experiences and need, genuine help with things. Not everything's evil or demonic at all. But, people can be struggling with these things if things have started to happen in their homes, and we actually want to genuinely help the people that need the help.
It's more popular now, like we say. I mean,
Popular.
when I've been started investigating, it was a very taboo subject still. People would talk about ghosts and things around Halloween time. You would get an odd TV show around October time. But apart from that, there was no paranormal TV shows or, it was sort of, we would go to locations. There would be none of this fancy equipment now. So, you'd have your torch and a couple of candles and your dowsing crystal and your rods and things like that and burning board. And that would be it. But it would be great because, would always run into the same people. It wasn't a subject you could stand, if you were in the pub or you were with your friends, and my circle of friends, had no idea I was into this sort of thing at all. So I would go and meet up with another couple of people who I knew, and then off we would go, sort of thing. And then I think it was around the early 2000s, there were some TV shows started to air and started to get a lot more public and kind of just escalated so fast. And now obviously with YouTube and social media pages and, it's great to see the growth in the industry as well. More people are aware of, what's going on. I mean, well, again, the side of things, I mean, you made a comment, Patti, here at the museum that I loved because, when after we'd done a fire scrying and one of the ladies asked a question, and like your response was, well, look at what your brain is programmed to see. We are programmed in this day and age. There are so many people telling us that this isn't real, or this shouldn't be done, this shouldn't be done. And when you start looking beyond that, there is so much more out there that we don't know about, that we can experience, and I think a lot of people are afraid to take that step further now because, are they going to get criticized for it, or, is it the right way, is it the wrong way? I think a lot of people should go with their own feelings, their own beliefs, and their own experiences with it. And that's what we try to enhance here at our museum as well. So,
Yeah, I think you're right. It is certainly much more accepted now. It is certainly the TV shows and everything came out. And more than anything, it is accepted. You're not just the crazy people. There's a lot more people.
Because we don't be that normal.
Well, we all are crazy, but in addition, honestly think activity is increasing. I think the veil is thinning between the worlds. Literally filming that Age of Aquarius they sang about in the 60s. And because I do lots of clearings, and it's like, it's always been there. And again, now people talk about it more, but I think stuff is increasing. That's why paranormal's not going to go away because
I think so as well. I think there's a lot more intelligence with spirits as well. With one of the things that we always say to people is there's a story behind every spirit. And although if we have an artifact from a case file, it isn't a case of that artifact has in it, but we're working directly with that vessel and we are getting information from that. Or if somebody comes into the museum and they're getting that information, if it's not been publicly produced, where are they getting that information from? And that's the thing. There's so many different ways you can look at working with spirits, with artifacts and relics and things like that. And we try and share knowledge with people when they come to the museum, and we listen to their beliefs, their thoughts and their knowledge. And I think combining everybody's input together in a positive way is what gets more results. We're not afraid to try different methods. And that's what we take pride in doing it here at the museum with the experiments, and we try to think outside of the box. And as crazy as it may be, it might just get the results that we're looking for.
Yeah. And I think you're doing really well with it. So what are do you have any good stories of crazy things that have happened? Good, bad, or running out seeing, or this happened?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the stories was we had a massive set of rosary beads, and they were given to us by a former nun who came to an investigation at the museum. An amazing lady, large as life, very colourful.
You would never think she was a nun.
No. When she told us when we were standing in our chapel, I was like, no, I can't. She believed this. And she went, yes, I was. And she said, I've got this huge set of rosary beads, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she gave them to the museum. And she became very poorly, didn't she? With a bit seriously ill. And we hadn't heard of her for a long period of time, had we? And one night, the rosary beads, and they're over two screws solidly on, all good. And the rosary beads were pulled and across to the right and hit the floor with a lot of force. And we were quite concerned. So we started to think about this lady. I'd not heard for a while. He'd been poorly. And so we thought, we'll try and get in contact to make sure she's okay. And we've not heard anything from her.
Yeah.
We couldn't get no contact. So we were quite concerned. And then a few months later, we got a call from this lady, and she was absolutely fine. And the date that the rosary beads came off the wall is the date that she got the clear from a very serious illness.
But it was probably all clear.
Yeah. So whether that was a sign or it was just something telling us to get in touch, I don't know. It was just, whether it's a coincidence. It was very, very strange.
You made such a band.
We've had apparitions caught on camera here, which have been incredible. Those have been used on footage on TV shows all over the world. Very, very clear apparitions. So there was one we actually watched a lady appear on the wall while we were sitting at the CCTV monitors as well. So that was mind blowing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really bizarre because we'd got a group and you weren't feeling too well. So he went and sat in the office. Yeah. And after a couple of minutes, I went in to make sure he was okay. And then he was just watching the cameras and he says, if we're ever going to catch anything, it's going to be now. And then within, seconds, it just appeared on the screen. It was crazy.
And then another one, we had a notification from the early hours of the morning. My phone obviously alerts us when the cameras start to record. And it was a child. And you could see the head and the face very clearly on the back of the banister at the top of the staircase. Came into shot, stopped, and then actually turned its head and then came out of shot. We were like, oh, this is just insane to be getting these. And then we have a music video. We have so many. That was shot downstairs in the nursery. And we'd moved the table, the table where the big Ouija board is in the centre of the room. So we'd moved the table and everything out. Yeah. Set all the drums and guitars up. And it was a band called Death of Me, I think it was, something like that. And they just wanted the right background settings with candles. And they didn't even play any music. They were just miming. So you got the shot of them at the museum. And when they went away and started to edit the video, the guy called me up and he was like, listen, something in the video that I need you to have a look at, Craig. was like, okay. So in the back of the nursery area behind it, we've got an old baby walker, Victorian one, with great history to it. And in the back, as they're all there miming with their instruments, the baby walker, the pram, comes straight across the floor behind them, literally went the whole width of the floor. It's a very old parquet, uneven floor in there, so it couldn't just roll.
Well, they
Especially
hadn't noticed it at the time, had they? It was
no,
only obviously when they were watching it back
yeah,
and they'd seen that.
in there. So yeah, there's numerous things in it.
There is,
Um,
there's so many.
yeah,
It's really hard to think about.
yeah.
There's so many.
Another one that really stands out for me is we had a paranormal team in, and they were investigating upstairs, and all the main lights were on the building. They were going live on their social media, and we had acquired an exorcism box.
Yeah.
And it had literally been in the UK for 5 hours in the museum, and they were on live. And as they walked to the entrance of the chapel, they turned around with the live feed camera, and the cross out of the exorcism box came out such force, it snapped at the base. And they didn't hang around for a lot longer. They kind of wrapped up the live feed and kind of went home. And again, footage that's gone global, on different news channels and different shows that they're going to be airing pretty soon as well. So, we have a lot of physical movements and activity.
There's so many different instances that, we could think about and, talk about because, we have had a lot, haven't we, Drew? But that, we hear all the time, but it's also not just us getting it. It's other people when they are coming in and they are investigating the building and, they are getting these findings themselves. So it's not just us saying, oh, well, we have this or we have that. We have everybody, the beauty as well that we have cameras recording 24/7. So, if we've got a team in, if anything picks up that, when we're not in the building, things can still happen then, so we've got constant, eyes on it and it is great.
Next, we don't miss anything that happens. And obviously the normal everyday occurrences we outrule like everybody else does. It's an old building, so we know what the natural taps and creaks and things and sounds are. When people come in to investigate, they may think it's something unusual, but we are the first persons. It's just a building or it's just this. We know that sound, and because we very much live here.
But on that as well, because we are here so much all the time, some of these sounds or some of these noises for us, it's normal everyday things. But then other teams can come in and hear things and be like blown away with it. So sometimes we do, we get a little bit like just too settled in it, I guess. So some of these things, they're just like, oh, that's normal. Whereas realistically, something's happening.
We had a team in just a few weeks ago. We did a charity event. With the Boone Brothers in Resident Ghost Investigations. And Dave and his partner were in next door in the building. We were here in the extension where the Devil's Pit is. And he came round about an hour later, didn't he, or something?
Yeah.
And he went, have you been in the building next door? We were like, no, we've all been in here together. We can show you on the cameras. And he went, seriously, have you been in there or not? And he thought we were winding. I was like, no. They'd heard somebody run up the stairs, and then a few seconds later, run straight back down the stairs. And he said it wasn't, but he said it was full steps as if somebody clearly run up and down them. So when he went back, this is the camera foot, he was like, okay, blown away by it. And we get some incredible things like that, don't we? And so it's not just us, and I'm glad it's not just us. People come from teams all over the world. We've had people from states like yourselves and other teams, Belgium, Russia, Czechoslovakia, Sweden, Australia. And they come over and they, again, are blown away by the museum of what we do here, a collection of artifacts. And, we offer them the same experience. If you these experiments, we set them up for you, tell you how to use them and things like that. And it just adds with the experience for them.
Yeah, and it is quite an experience. So, first off, I want to give a shout out to Liz Cormel at Phantasm Tour, because that is why we were on a Phantasm tour that got me to you and got you to me and all of that. So shout out to her. But for everybody, before we go, tell people now we have everybody intrigued all over the world. Tell people how they can find you, how they can find the museum, your team. Let people know what website.
So you can find us. Our main page is on Facebook. So if you put in the Haunted Museum and Spirit Shop Stoke, that's where all the information, your availability, we do daily guided tours, we do public events with our team, Ghost Hunt Stoke on Trent, and you can also privately hire the museum for your own paranormal team to go and investigate here. We are also on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. Yeah,
I think you covered them all, didn't you,
we're
brother?
on all social media pages. Big shout out to Boot Brothers, if that's okay with you. They are in partnership with Lee and Sarah and their team here at the museum. That they help us out massively. With what we do here, we're very busy. We're growing. Next year, we've got some amazing things lined up without giving too much away right now. But we do have some very, very incredible events lined up to do. So we are at the Strict over the 18s, over the age of 18s venue. If you want to book it, get in touch with us. You can email us, you can message the Facebook page. We deal directly with the bookings ourselves, so you can talk to either me or Gemma. We can get all the information over to whoever wants to book in. We do overnight investigations as well, so you need to book a hotel. We do provide camp beds if you want to sleep in the museum itself as well. So that's an experience on its own. And we do a variety of different events here, everything from your back to basics, right up to your more experimental and advanced technology equipment as well. So yeah, it's just it keeps us for people. We love doing what we do, and then being able to have people like yourselves come over and support us. And it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for the experience. 2 nights in this amazing place. And again, I highly recommend it from experience, whether you just go buy a ticket and do what they do publicly or you have the whole place. It is a really amazing haunted museum and experience. It's immersive, it's experiential, it's great. So thank you guys for coming on. I guess I'm going to have to come back next year if you guys have new things coming.
Definitely.
Thank you for bringing your spooky, fabulous magic. So haunted museum, Stoke, because again, there's haunted. So that's how you're going to Instagram and all that. Stoke, Trent. I have no idea where you are. I just show up and where on the planet. You're a pond. So thank you so much. Any last words for everybody before we go?
Just come. What we say to everybody is, come and experience the venue for yourselves. Like anywhere, it's okay to watch investigations online. To have this experience here with our experiments around these artifacts is another level of working with so many different energies, and I think that's where you need to be here physically to take in the whole, experience at this museum. So yeah, book in, and you'll have a great time with us.
And I just want to say thank you very much, Patti, for coming here and letting us experience you as much as you experienced us. And thank you very much for having us on your show tonight.
It's been amazing.
Mutual Admiration Society. Thank you so much. See you on the Witching Hour.
Bye.
Bye.